Hello, good morning. Welcome to MX24 News, coming to you live from Silicon Square here in Accra. My name is Ifwa Evans Chiri. Coming up in the next 30 minutes, Interior Minister is in Parliament to present a framework for the security of MPs. We will be bringing you the details on that. President Akufo-Addo urges police to arrest killers of MP at all costs. Plus, Works and Housing Minister blamed floods on Ghanaians who dump refuse in drains. We will return shortly with the details of these stories. To stay. Our very first story, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry is today expected in Parliament to outline a plan to enhance the security of members of Parliament following the killing of Mfantseman MP Eko Kwanza Hayford. His summons comes after the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, led a delegation to commiserate with the family of the late MP and announced that the Interior Minister has assured him of a framework to enhance the security for legislators. My colleague Eko Wanan is in Parliament and joins us live with some updates. Eko, is the Interior Minister in Parliament yet? And if he is, what has he been saying?
Well, if the Interior Minister is on the floor of the House, the House just convened for sitting a short while ago. The Speaker of Parliament is currently being ushered into the chamber for proceedings begin. Then the Interior Minister would be called in to brief MPs as to what exactly is the true state of security with regard to, the general state of the country's security, zeroing in on MPs' welfare and their security issues. And I can report to you that there's a high-powered security delegation. The Deputy Defense Minister is currently entering the chamber, and I'll briefly catch a word with him. A very good afternoon to you, the Honorable Major Derekodo. Yes. Well, so in recent times, this issue of security for MPs has come out on the floor.
You think I'm a cheap Deputy Defense Minister? You just catch me somewhere and say, answer questions you have. Your media. How can I answer that?
Well, so unfortunately, the Honorable Deputy Defense Minister pushed me aside. We wanted to find out from him, since he's a Deputy Defense Minister, we wanted to find out from him whether or not the security agencies will be working hand in hand to ensure.
But Eko, did you get the chance to speak with some of the MPs earlier?
Well, I did. I spoke with some of them. I interacted with some of them, and all that they are seeing, all that they want from government is for government to prioritize their security and ensure that they get utmost protection from our security agencies. They made a claim that even if government will not give them full security protection, government should meet them halfway by providing them with security in their homes and in their constituencies. They say that they understand the cost implications this will have on the state first. And so if government is saying that they wouldn't be giving them full security protection, at least government should meet them halfway by giving them some house security in their homes and in their constituencies.
Thank you very much, Eko. Eko Annan is our man in Parliament. Meanwhile, earlier on, the first Deputy Majority Leader, Moses Enim, told MX24 News it is time for the state to take a critical look at providing security for lawmakers.
That could happen to any of us, and we are so worried, and I can say we are scared, and therefore we want to comfort, console the family, and also console ourselves, and hold fast on whatever we are doing. Therefore, our line of duty, we will continue to do the best of our ability. But as we keep saying, that security and protection for properties and human is key. We know the security agencies are doing their best. Continuous improvement is a way of life.
When we are in the chamber here, we have enough security here. It is when we are in our homes that at night we worry about security. When we are in our constituency, it's a campaign season. So I'm hopeful. The Interior Minister, looking at the trend and what has happened in the past, because this conversation has gone on for long. It's not now. The 6th Parliament, the conversation was on. But I believe we'll bring matters to conclusion this time around. I'm sure the Interior Minister is going to prescribe a solution to. I will not be surprised if going forward members are provided home security, and when we are in our constituency to similarly provide us with security now going out and coming in. I'm hopeful.
Can the state afford?
Well, if you say can the state afford, it's a very big. I don't know what already state is not going to recruit a new security for any member. These are all security people that already government has employed them, that they are working. It's the same security that maybe they may want to redraw their program and see that maybe if they can provide.
Security analyst Colonel Festus Obwaji has urged the Interior Ministry and Ghana Police to build a database to keep records of crimes.
Types of crimes are occurring in this country. But trust me, if you Google South Africa crime statistics, you see a very tall list, hundreds of PowerPoint slides of crime in South Africa disaggregated in many shapes and forms. So we need that crime stats to have an informed debate. So if crime or the murders that have taken place in 2020, let's say, happen to be far less than 2019 or 2018, then we could have that debate that, look, let's be a bit calm. Yes, murders are occurring, but they are not as bad as, were previously the case. So that is the first point that I wish to make. But the nature of the crime, these armed robberies, before one ends, you have another story that a certain MC or MDC has been attacked somewhere in the north when he was visiting, flooded areas and that kind of stuff. Just in the wake of the murder of an MP. So we keep adding to the list of the unresolved murders, if I should put it that way.
Still on security, Director of the Bureau of Public Safety, Nanaya Akwada, believes that calls for MPs to be giving police protection are unfounded. He joins us via phone. Now, Nanaya, why are you against the provision of security for MPs as an arm of government?
Good afternoon, and good afternoon to viewers and listeners. I think we made the point clear, and it's important we continue to on record that we are not necessarily against protection of the lives of MPs. What we are against is the manner in which the state of insecurity in the country is being approached or is being addressed, to the extent that several other persons or the rest of the population are facing the same danger that is faced by members of parliament. For anyone to come to think that the solution to the security or the declining security situation in the country is to provide protection for members of parliament, I think is what we are against. We would want to see the lives of members of parliament, the lives of the market woman, the lives of the teacher, the lives of the chief, and ordinary citizens equally come under very good protection.
Now, Nanaya, some people are saying that the recent happenings raises questions about the quality of security intelligence. Your take on that?
Some people are saying what?
Now, some people are questioning the security. So I just want your take on that.
Yeah, I did not get your question.
No, some are saying that the recent happenings raises questions about the quality of security. And I want your take on that.
Well, I think that's obvious, isn't it? Our public safety and crime report that we launched 2 weeks ago or so indicated that the rate of crime is on the increase. We indicated that people suffering casualty as a result of crime is also on the ascendancy. And so when people are questioning the quality of security, in the country. I believe that there are basis or there's a basis for that.
Right, and do you think that it is time for Ghanaians to take their own security into their own hands?
Well, security everywhere must be primarily taken into everybody's hands, and then we expect the state to do what they have to do. In other countries where we think security somewhat relatively is top-notch, they allow for individuals who want to take measures to protect themselves to do so. But the state does not fail in its security, and that's what we are asking for. That at this moment, if there is any discussion that should dominate Parliament, it should be the protection of the people. After all, the members of Parliament are representatives of the people. To come to think that the people themselves are under attack, and the representatives, what they are interested in talking about is to talk about their protection, is unconscionable.
All right, thank you very much. Nanayo Akwada is a public safety expert. Moving on, President Akufo-Addo has charged the Inspector General of Police, James Opon-Buenu, to, as a matter of urgency, apprehend the killers of the MP and make sure they are brought to book at all costs. The president said this when he visited the bereaved family. He said the death of Eko Kwanza is a big blow to him.
When you enter Parliament as a member, usually the first terms are used to study activities of the House. So the second terms are the ones for doing the real work. So I knew that in 2020 elections, Eko Kwanza was going to win the seat, and he was one of the MPs I would have relied on to help me in government. But God knows best. This is a personal blow to me. I have made it known to the IGP that if nothing is done about this particular matter, what will happen will happen. The law will deal with them no matter what. I want to assure you that the killers won't go scot-free.
In some other stories, a senior lecturer at the Department of Architecture, Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Charles Essel, has said that Ghanaians should not blame politicians for the country's perennial flooding situation. Speaking with MX24 News, the urban planner says citizens must take charge by protesting in order to force politicians to make the right decisions.
He says, I blame the citizenry. Because you see, yes, the citizenry, if all of us, look at what has happened in America when you say Black Lives Matter. It's making a big change. If we can also get up and say that Kokompe life also matters, and we ourselves will obey the rules, the politicians will follow, because the politicians are thinking about their job. And so actions that they should take to make good to society, they know it, but they won't do it because the larger population or their opponents will use it against them, knowing that that's good effect that it offers all of us. Yet they are going to lose votes because the people are ignorant. And that's why I said the ignorant are in the end the sufferers. And those ignorant people are the people who also give power to the people who are the top who should make that decision, who are not affected anyway when these things happen, because they are also on island. In the cause of they being forthright, there are still potential that men by our nature and the way we are born and raised all over the world, no Ghanaians, we have the tendency to do wrong things more than the right things. And the only way most people will do the right thing is because of the repercussion. Now, if there are no repercussions for me, or in the end I can go and cry and pretend I belong to party A or B, definitely I will behave that way.
Former Mayor of Accra, Alfred Oko van der Poy, said the situation can be blamed on the choked lagoons and drains.
Of the flooding situation in Accra, there is a need for us as a country to ensure that we have put physical person on the ground. And then there should be some activities which is done, periodically to ensure that we open our waterways so that water will run through the city to the appropriate place, which is the ocean. Right now, when one looks at the situation on the ground, the Kole is choked. The patient is no more. The Chemu is choked. So these are three major outlets where normally the water will run finally and then get into the ocean. All these outlets are choked. So when it starts raining and it starts coming down and getting to Accra, there is no outlet for the water to run out. Secondly, our drains in Accra today have outlived their usefulness. And until we come to a point where we will reconstruct our drains and make sure we widen them up and open them up and maintain them, we will continue to have problems.
Works and Housing Minister Samuel Atachia is also blaming Ghanaians for the choked drains that cause flooding.
If you Google, you find the data everywhere in the United Kingdom, floods have hit them. But what we are doing now, which is that we need to first of all bear in mind the EU problem of how our open drains are not helping us, because our attitudes are so bad. We tip our rubbish into the drains, so it becomes silted, full with garbage and the rest of them. So when there's a downpour, the canals are blocked. The spillover is what we call the flooding sometimes. So we are desilting. We are also opening the channels more. Since the president came, we have had the biggest financial infusion, the sum of 200 million. Never happened since we started our constitutional dispensation to try and resolve this problem. I'll beg our people, even the president is begging people to wear face masks. There is a kind of stubbornness, which is self-inflicting, that we should run away from as a people. The same way he's begging people to wear face masks, I'm begging people that, for Christ's sake, do not take your rubbish in the open drain. It will come back to hurt you.
Mr. Atachia, you know all these problems existed, but in 2018 you promised to solve Ghana's flooding situation, and it's 2020, and we're still talking about the same thing.
We'll be able to solve Ghana's flooding problems in a day. The Ghana's flooding problems started in Coma days. Bear that in mind. Accra had the heaviest downpour and flooding in 1958, 1 year after independence. So when people want to say that, oh, President Kufuor will carry all the Asian problems and solve it under 4 years, at least much to be done. So let's give him the space to do a second term as we begin to tackle Asian troubles. There are not some things that are of recent origin. And do we have the kind of financial muscle to solve this problem?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Is there enough funding to solve this problem?
We don't have it unless we find very intelligent way and show the commitment that flooding is a challenge and an embarrassment to this country. We want to spend good money. This is the challenge of this mission. And we should all come.
You're still watching MX24 News. We'll return shortly after this break to stay.
Shop online, get free swipes, and enjoy greater security with a card that turns banking on its head. That's Africanacity. That's ABSA.
Hello, viewers. I'm feeling very frustrated and bored in Sambulai. I'm very happy. If you don't understand, don't worry, because myself, I don't understand. In this addition, Vodafone Ghana has now made it possible to send money from Vodafone Cash to all network free. We'll cross over to our senior reporter for more details.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing in front downtown. You know, I'm learning to make a vlog. I'm not funny as you said. Vodafone, I'm not quite said. Ultimate Senesika to Topia, Emily to Topia, Echo all the network. I will check up with TC Montezo. Diamond Falcon.
Fifia, Matendo says, don't you put charges, Manome. Joe, you bro, charges on your wumlo, and the harmonium. A bit of says, do the heart, charges or Clandine.
Hanging on me, Fanny or me. He said, I'm a charges, man, or charges I met G. Naka charges, when we know, money cafe in the BP. Oh, and if
for me, I do a lot of online transactions. I think I see it. See, the excitement for me is that I get to save a lot on Vodafone Cash.
Please put me down.
I'm so excited. I can now send money to all networks without any charges.
Me ye jediniba. A bribia says me chia me juma ye fokan. Sika me chia sa charges no. And do so do. Nanso say dear. Me da Vodafone Cash.
Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all networks is now free. Send any amount of money as many times as you like to all networks for free. Dial *110# now to send money.
Any amount for Masumo. Studio 2. Put him in car. And yeah, we saw mommy.
This is the red news. Apologize.
The future is exciting. Ready?
They'll go with the 4-4-2 diamond formation for that early lead.
An early goal will settle the nerves.
Their away team has been in bad form. They will feel the pressure.
The home sides kept 2 clean sheets in a row.
It's all about momentum.
Who will have the stamina to last the 90 minutes?
Their star striker is suspended.
They've got no kappa.
The marking will be tight.
This will be won or lost in the midfield.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet.
This is why I bet. Betway, for the love of the game.
You're welcome back. You're still watching MX24 News. Now, the new Patriotic Party has been touting government achievements in the education sector, specifically novel policies that have improved the lives of teachers. Speaking at a press conference on Monday, Communications Director for the MPP, Yao Boabinga-Samoa, noted that since coming into office, the MPP government has been able to pay off 91% of legacy arrears owed teachers.
Not so long ago, under the poor, weak, and directionless leadership of candidate Mahama and his running mate, the economy was so bad that a 3-month pay policy was the order of the day. Hard-working, freshly recruited teachers were paid only 3 months' salary, denied their economic rights because of incompetent economic management. This barefaced policy injustice accumulated and formed part of what became known as the legacy arrears that the MPP government inherited. Happily, so far, over 91% of those arrears have been paid.
Moment to jab the National Democratic Congress. According to him, the NDC at this point is desperate and has therefore resorted to empty threats and outrageous propaganda.
True to the NDC's flip-flopping, wishy-washy, obey the wind campaign style, they have promised to cancel licensure exams, a policy they started. Anything the NDC started in government that the MPP is trying to improve, they in opposition have threatened to cancel. Everything new that they cannot do, they are now saying they can do. No wonder they have moved from policy to empty threats and increasingly outrageous propaganda about the outcome of the elections.
Now, the management of Ghana Water Company Limited have begun minimal spillage of excess water from the Wager Dam. The Ghana Water Company explained that the safe operating level of the Wager Dam is 47 feet. However, the heavy rains have shot the water level up to 48 feet, and that could damage the dam itself. My colleague Mfantseman is in Wager, and she joins us live on the line. What is happening there, Mfa?
Well, for just as we said, the Wager Dam is above the safe level, and so it has to be spilled off to avoid the damage of the dam or a breakage. That's basically what's happening. So the Ghana Water Company Limited management at Wager are trying to spill off the dam. They are using 4 gates. So basically the water is gushing out of the Wager Dam onto, they're actually taking it to the Titegu. But the problem is people around Titegu are having concern with this particular spillage. The concern is the water obviously is coming to their houses, and they have to take they have to take advantage of the whole thing, and it's actually a worry to them. But the Ghana Water Company is actually saying it's not their fault. They are blaming the residents for the problem because they are having their houses in water-locked areas.
Right. Did you get the opportunity to speak to some of the residents around, people around you? Did you get the opportunity to speak to any of them?
Yes, they are complaining that the spillage is affecting them, but then again, there's nothing really they can do because they brought this onto themselves, because the site or where they locate their houses and where they live is not supposed to be, it's not right, and so they are just trying to manage the situation by themselves and spill the water. But the problem is, even if they go away, they will still come back. That's what the Ghana Water Company has been saying. So even while they try to tell them not to stay around this area, they will still come back and live here. So the Ghana Water Company Limited is not really blaming themselves for the problems the residents around this area are suffering from.
Yeah, very worrying situation there. Thank you very much. Mfantseman was reporting live from Wager. Now, non-governmental organization Strategic Thinkers Network says its checks have showed that the various political parties have been lax in the enforcement of COVID-19 safety protocols during their electioneering campaign. In a publication dated October 12, 2020, Stranek acknowledged that although the parties are making some effort, it is only best to publish the safety guidelines to ensure the spread of the virus is prevented at their campaigns. Ni Tete is the executive director of Stranek and joins us live now. Ni, can you tell us about these guidelines?
Thank you very much. Let me say good morning to you, good afternoon to your listeners. Well, with the guidelines that we are saying are actually what we are proposing to be part of the COVID-19 campaign guidelines. And we are saying that, first of all, political parties should include in the guidelines how they are going to manage the crowd, their crowd. And so we're thinking that they could have an entry and exit point so that they can be able to tell the number of people that attend their activities so that they will not be overcrowded, and then they can now observe the COVID-19 safety protocols. The other guidelines that we thought they could include is to do more virtual campaigns more than physical, and do Facebook, Twitter, radio, TV, Zoom, and what have you. And then, because the more you do physical things, or the more the physical quantity, the higher likelihood that there's going to be a spread of the virus.
Right.
Another one that we were also thinking that they could add to their guidelines is to do a door-to-door of not involving more than 5 people in a group. And so as they preach the gospel about what they want to do for the country, they can also include how Ghanaians can observe the COVID-19 protocol.
But what difference? What difference would you say? What difference will it make if they don't do this?
The difference that it will not make, the difference that will make is that their followers or their sympathizers are highly likely to get contacted so far as the virus is concerned, because for some time now, for the past few weeks, we have observed that parliamentary candidates, presidential candidates, when we were going to file the nomination forms, their supporters or sympathizers were not even wearing nose masks. Some of them were not even observing social distancing. And so we are saying that if this is going to continue to December 7th, then there's going to be some maybe spread of the virus, because already there's a second wave, and that is what has caused United Kingdom, France, Spain.
Point very well made. And we're running out of time. I very much appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We'll speak more about that sometime later. Ni Tete is the Executive Director of Stranic. Thank you very much for your time. And that's how we end MX24 News, which came to you live from Silicon Square here in Accra. My name is Ifwa Evans Chini. Do stay tuned.